Welcome back, Weekend Warriors. You've all been asking for me to do some beef ribs, so I'm doing two different kinds today. These are some beauties. So right here, these are your beef back ribs. These are your beef plate ribs. Now the plate ribs are huge. They're called dino ribs. And what it is the butcher cuts these ribs off of the steer. These are down towards the belly, and there's a lot of good meat and fat that sits on top of the bones. Sometimes when you go to the grocery store, or if you've ever been to any kind of a Korean barbecue restaurant, they'll actually take this cut and they'll come across this way, across the bones. And then you'll have just little slivers of meat on the bones. Those are fantastic. They get grilled up real nice. And then we have these. These are your back ribs. So if you've ever seen a bone-in prime rib roast, these are the bones that they've been cut off of that roast. And the big difference here is the meat sits between the bones instead of on top. So those are really the two big differences. So you'll see by the time these are done cooking, these will be pretty ugly looking, but lots of flavor. When I was a kid, this is what my parents would buy. I don't remember eating a lot of pork ribs. I do remember these, and it was because they were so inexpensive at the time. And man, they just had awesome flavor. So what we gotta do, I don't have much to do on these, but on my plate ribs, I wanna trim all this fat and connective tissue off the top. And the reason I want to do that is because I'm going to dry brine this overnight. So I'm going to put some kosher salt down, and it's really not going to get through that fat too good. So we're going to take it off. I'm going to start just by going right underneath the silver skin. Being careful, I don't want to take off too much meat. So we'll just start it right there. See how we did. And then I can just kind of come back. I know you're not supposed to cut towards yourself, but I'm being careful. And I'm gonna just come along and start trimming all this off. Again, get under the silver skin. Now I can go forward and then come back. And this won't take too long. It's not like trimming a brisket. There's just a little bit on this top section that's gotta come off. And these are expensive, I'm not gonna lie. I probably do this once, maybe twice a year for a special occasion. And because they're so expensive, I do not want to cut off a bunch of meat on accident. So I will just take my time and get all of this off of there. Okay, so I've got this trimmed up pretty nice without, taking too much meat off. Here's a little bit of silver skin here. It's one of those things, the more time you spend, the better the result. But it's looking pretty good. I'd say I've probably got about a pound of fat and tissue off of there. So that's looking pretty good. These guys I rinsed off really well, and you should do that too. The reason being, sometimes there's a lot of bone fragments from where they made the cut, so you want to wash those off. And just looking at them, I'm not going to do anything to the underside, and there's not a whole lot for me to do on these. They look pretty good. So what we're going to do from here is get some kosher salt on here. I'm just eyeballing this. What we're trying to do here is called a dry brine. What's going to happen with this salt is initially it's going to pull moisture up and out of the meat, and at first that might not sound like a good thing, but what happens, it's going to come up and dissolve that salt, and then all of that juice is going to go back down into the meat. It's going to take the salt with it, and so we're going to season this thing, or salt it anyways, from the inside out by the time it's done. And when I take this out of the refrigerator tomorrow, it's going to have a real nice, sticky, tacky surface to it. And I want to make sure I do get these edges. Okay. And then same thing with our back ribs. Just a little bit of salt. And the idea from here is we're going to put it in the refrigerator overnight. 12 hours, 24 hours is fine. I like to put it in there uncovered. So I'm gonna put it right on this cookie sheet in my refrigerator. And tomorrow, when I take these out of the refrigerator, just before we're getting ready to put them in the smoker, then you can add additional seasonings and barbecue rubs. Just pick something that doesn't have salt in it, because you've already got all this salt down there, you don't need it. We're gonna be using the Pit Boss pellet smoker tomorrow. This is my vertical. We're gonna set it for about 225 degrees Fahrenheit. The reason I'm using this instead of my offset vertical smoker, this actually does a really good job at low and slow, 225 degrees Fahrenheit. It's hard to do that in an offset. Mine likes to run around 275 Fahrenheit, so that's why we're using this today. Not only that, it's gonna be like 100 degrees tomorrow, and I don't wanna mess around managing a fire. So I'm gonna take these in. We'll see you tomorrow. We'll put some extra rub on it. We'll get them in the smoke. And here we are, it's the next morning. So about 12 hours, these dry brined in the refrigerator. And just like I said, all of that salt is now gone. The juice is dissolved, it pulled it back in, except for one spot. I wanna show you, I'm not sure if you'll be able to see it or not. This is why I wanted to get all that fat off of there. This is the only place that the salt did not absorb. Had I left that fat on, it would still all be full of salt on the top, and that's not what we wanted. So you can see that there. I'm just gonna rub that off. Here's our back ribs. Same thing, the salt penetrated down between the bones where the meat is, and it's actually changed the color, and it's given it this nice sticky surface. And what I'm gonna do now is put down a little bit of a schmear or a binder. So it's gonna be some Worcestershire sauce. It's not gonna take a lot, and I only need to get the top and the sides. We don't care about the underside at all on this cook. This will help our seasoning stick a little better, add a little bit more flavor, get it on all the ribs. It's just gonna make for a real nice savory smoked beef rib, which is what we're after today. And you can season these pretty much any way you want, whatever kind of flavors you like. I'm gonna go real simple. So I've got some smoked peppercorns, and I'm just gonna grind it right on top. Instead of mixing up, you know, a rub, I'm just gonna go right on top of it like this. And then I'm gonna finish it off with a little garlic powder. So it's already got the salt in there. We're doing pepper and garlic powder. Nice and simple. Almost a Texas style beef rib. And then what I'll do is just let this sit for about 5-10 minutes and allow it to kind of get the meat sweats. And for my pellets, I'm gonna be using some hickory pellets, but you could use whatever you like. It doesn't really matter. Whatever your taste buds tell you tastes good, that's what you should go with. And I've got my smoker set to 225 degrees Fahrenheit. This is where I think the pellet smoker really shines, is that real low and slow. I would have a hard time keeping 225 in my offset all day long. And so we're gonna let the Pit Boss do the job today. And we can go ahead and get these in. So I'm gonna put my plate ribs on the left-hand side. This happens to be the hotter side of my smoker. I know that because I've done some thermal image readings. It's not that much hotter, but it is a little bit hotter. And then I'll go ahead and get my back ribs. And we're gonna let these go all day. It's gonna take a long time at 225 degrees, but that's what we want. We wanna break down the collagen and the fat and get that real nice tender bite. These back ribs are gonna cook quicker than the plate ribs. We'll find out how much quicker. But for now, we'll get this door closed and we'll come back in about 2 hours, see how they're doing. And we're coming up on 3 hours into this cook. The Pit Boss has been running steady at 225 degrees Fahrenheit. And I'll tell you what, one of the great things about these pellet smokers, these past 3 hours, I've been able to get all kinds of stuff done. I got a workout in, read the newspaper, had some coffee, and it's just out here doing its thing. I love it. And let me also take a moment to welcome you to the channel. If you're new, thank you very much for stopping by. Please hit that subscribe button, give me a big like, and hey, let's check out these ribs. Here we go. Let's see how we're doing. Wow, look at that color. That looks awesome. So I don't want to mess with them too much, but let's let you get a look. These are the beef back ribs. See how the meat's starting to pull away from the bones. They're starting to show themselves. That's looking really good. This guy back. All right, how about our plate ribs? Really good, nice dark color. Gonna rotate them so we can see what the other side's looking like. There we go. Man, that's looking really nice. You can see some of that skin came off the back, which is okay. What I'm looking for today is I want to get these beef ribs up to about 200 degrees Fahrenheit. Just like brisket, somewhere around there, they're going to be really, really tender, and all that fat will have had a chance to render. So right now, 3 hours in, we're at 166 right there. Let's go between the bones. About 165 again, there we go. And our beef back ribs, they're a few degrees ahead, which is to be expected because it's a thinner piece of meat. So we're gonna button this up, close that door, and we're gonna go for another probably 2 hours and see where we're at from there. Can't wait. And we're coming up on exactly the 5 hour mark at 225 degrees Fahrenheit. And look at what we have here. That'll bring a pit master to his knees. So my back ribs are done. I already temp probed those. They're really, really tender. Right about 195 degrees Fahrenheit. So I'm gonna get these off and then we'll check the plate ribs. Check out the pullback on those. Looking good. Let's check temp back here. These are at about 195, so getting pretty close. I'm gonna guess maybe another 20 minutes and I'll be taking these out and we'll be cutting them up. Wow, check that out. So this took about, I'll call it 6 hours total to get to this point. It was right around 200 degrees Fahrenheit, and more importantly, it was probe tender, meaning that probe was going in and out like warm butter. So now I'm gonna cut this guy. I really haven't let it rest too much, maybe just a couple minutes. And I'm gonna go right between the bones. This is just a serrated bread knife, nothing fancy. Oh my God. Oh my God, this is crazy. Look at the juice coming out of that thing. Whew. Cut this other one. Oh man, that is really something else. I'll just let that sink in for a second. Check out that thing just dripping. Nice smoke ring, excellent bark. I didn't wrap it, I didn't spritz it, it didn't need it. And then here's our back ribs that I've already cut. Nice little smoke ring on those as well, equally as juicy. Just a smaller bite. And I'm not gonna pick this up and put this whole thing in my mouth, so I'm just gonna cut a little piece off the end. and that'll be my piece. Here we go. Here's the piece. Let's give it a shot. Really juicy, really beefy, nice smoke flavor. It's seasoned all the way through, so just a little technique, dry brine it for sure, and your ribs are gonna come out the exact same way. I'll tell you what, if you guys like this video, please give me a big like, hit that subscribe button, and definitely check out one of those 2 videos right there, and I'll see you over there.